Thatched Cottages at Cordeville by Vincent van Gogh. Hi, welcome to Jigsaw Geek. So today I'm going to be talking to you about this museum collection 1,000 pieces puzzle. Now this is, it must be a Chinese brand because it says the famous painting of world on here. Now I have two time lapses of this puzzle. I have the border, and then I took a break because I got sick, and I explained that in a little video. So I'm going to put the time lapse of the border, I'm going to add that video, and then I'm going to put the final time lapse. I'm going to go ahead and do those now, and then I'm going to come back and talk about the puzzle. So this is an update on this puzzle that I'm doing. I filmed doing the border, and then I got sick. And so I didn't feel much like recording. I would just work on it for a little bit and then do something else, and didn't feel like setting up the tripod and everything. And so I am at this, I would say about 3/4 of the way done, and I just shape sorted the pieces into 2 trays. And that is where I am on this puzzle, but I am going to film completing the rest of this puzzle from this point. Okay, now that you've seen the puzzle put together, I want to say that this puzzle had a poster that is as large as the puzzle. And this tickled me pink because this is good enough to frame. Just having a poster the same size as the puzzle, I think that's just ingenious. And I think a lot of puzzles should have those posters, but I think a lot of people would keep the posters then. I know, I'm keeping this one. I've already glued it together. I'm gonna go ahead and show it off. It is simply gorgeous. And was it, I did the sky first because it was the easiest part. And then the next part I did was this section, and then the oranges and the kind of brownish yellows. And it kind of went from there, but let's go ahead and keep looking at this gorgeous puzzle. This is awkward because I can't see what I'm doing. This was a wonderful puzzle to put together. Was it difficult? Of course, but that's because of the nature of the art. But it wasn't overly difficult. I did look at the poster for probably the first half of the puzzle, and then, or half or 3/4, and then after that, I did it by, I shape sorted the pieces, and then I put them in by shape and by color. So what book did I listen to as I was doing this? I actually listened to 2. So I'll talk about the one that I just finished. And that is by the Russian science fiction brothers Boris and Arkady Strugatsky, and it's called The Dead Mountaineer's Inn. I guess this book was a little bit atypical of them. This is kind of a locked room mystery that may or may not involve aliens. It was a fun book. It was told from a first-person point of view from the detective who happens to go to an isolated inn, to relax. And there's a snowstorm and they get locked in, and then he's in charge of murders. He becomes de facto in charge of murders and has to investigate what's going on in this inn. I really enjoyed this book, but I think you would need to be a sci-fi and mystery fan in order to really enjoy this novel. Now, this puzzle I've already put together, and I'm definitely keeping this for my portfolio. Next, I'm going to be attempting this 1,000-piece television history puzzle by White Mountain. Probably not going to be too difficult. It's going to be fun trying to recognize and remember every person's face as I'm doing the puzzle. It might be difficult without looking at the box, so I'll most likely look at the box in order to get this done quickly. And I'm not sure if I've done a White Mountain puzzle or if I've done one recently, but the puzzle pieces look really cool. I think this is going to be an enjoyable experience. It does say finest quality, larger pieces. As always, any comments that you leave are greatly appreciated, and I want to thank you as always for the support.